Merry Christmas, fellow snow ninjas. Today, I have 3 older boards that I picked up. The 2 Fat Bobs came off of Facebook Marketplace, and the Burton came from Play It Again Sports. Shout out to them. But all of them have some rust issues on the edges, and I've had a lot of you message me about how to clean your edges, and I've seen on the Facebook groups people keep posting the exact same question over and over again. So I'm here to show you how to clean up those nasty rusty edges, along with sharpen them while we're at it too, because half the time if they're that bad, you might as well skip straight to the file. But let's give you a tour of the shop. Alright, let's start off by going over how bad the boards are. The large Fat Bob is actually not too bad, so my plan is to hit that with the Gummy Stones straight off. The Burton is pretty bad. I'm probably going to go straight to the file. And then same thing with the small Fat Bob. I know it's contradictory, but it is a small Fat Bob. And it is absolutely rusted to crap, so I'm definitely going to start with a file on these. As you can see, none of the bases have been cleaned or conditioned or taken care of at all yet. I like to do this either in between waxing while you're waiting for the base cleaner to dry, or in my particular case, since I picked these bad boys up cheap off the internet, I'm just going to do it all at once here. And the tools you're going to need for this job are as follows. You're definitely going to want a edge file. I prefer the small one because you have more control over it and it's more adaptable to different edges like magnet traction or any of those other ice bite technologies that are going to have a serrated edge. Then there's the large file, which is significantly faster. If you can get it to work smoothly and evenly, then that's a great option as well. I have both because I do so many different boards. You're also going to want a brass brush here because the brass brush is great for cleaning out all the gunk that's going to build up in these grooves. You're going to want to clean those out early and often, otherwise it's going to slow down your pass every time you go by. Another thing you're going to want to have on hand, especially if there's a lot of nicks, or in any kind of like raised areas that you want to file down, will be a hard stone and a cup of water to keep it lubed up. Then I also found that Gummy Stones are the most useful tool if it's not extremely rusted. These are something that you should keep on you every day at the mountain and just hit regularly at the end of the day or possibly the next morning after you're done letting your board fully dry for the night. They do come in different varieties. I find the smooth one is all but useless. It does help, but it's so slow and painful at removing the rust, I can't recommend spending your money on one. As you can see here, I've used the snot out of this thing, and it's given me a really long life. I absolutely love these more abrasive ones. And last but not least, a tip that I've never seen anybody else do is some 3-in-1 oil and Q-tips. I'll show you how to use that here closer to the end since we're going to be going through the process. Alright, here's the little Fat Bob, and as you can see, this edge is nothing but rust. It is absolutely horrible, and if I were you guys, if you run into this in the wild, I would recommend not picking one up because you don't know how much damage has been done to this board. I know the guy I'm going to be giving this to is going to end up destroying it anyway because he rides really, really hard, and this board's perfect for him. I actually wish I could take this into the shop and just hook it up to the diamond wheel right away because as you can see the base is not exactly the cleanest either. However, it is Christmas Eve, so I'm pretty sure everybody's out of there for the night and I'm going to clean this up for my homeboy before tomorrow morning. By the way, shout out to Max, congratulations on about ready to have your new kid. Unfortunately, I can't bring you guys along with this one because I can't stabilize the board, hold the file evenly, and work the GoPro at the same time. However, you will get the idea. You want to make sure that you hold these in the 90-degree angle and you keep it firmly flat against the base of the board and pulled tight towards yourself. And I hope I'm not trashing my nice hoodie. After just one pass, you can see how much crap there is. That's why you need to have that brass brush to keep cleaning this out. So all I'm really doing here is just scrubbing the gunk out of the grooves. Yep. I'm gonna be doing this for a while. I'm gonna use this file and actually go along the base edge here, but I recommend you get a file guard if you don't already have one, because doing it by hand is kind of tricky. Again, taking it to your local shop and getting the diamond wheel to hit it would be the best. Make sure you're holding the stone the right way. Many of them actually have arrows on them. Now, I originally showed you the flat method because anybody can do that almost anywhere. Unless you have these special vices, you're not going to be able to do it like I am, but this is definitely a lot easier and you have significantly more control. And let's face it, with sawhorses going for as much as they are, because wood's going for as much as it is, it might actually be cheaper to go on eBay and pick up a set of these bad boys. I think I picked mine up for under 50 bucks. But you know, everything's gone up since then, so they're probably like 60 now. Another thing that I forgot to mention in the things you're gonna want, paper towels. Yes, you can use a regular towel if you want to be a little more eco-friendly, but the rust is gross and you're gonna end up destroying the towel. And then after you file the edge, back to the gummying. Slide my gummy back and forth, slide my gummy back and forth. Alright. And then after you're done grinding with mad gummy stones and you brush most of it off, go over with a paper towel. So even when you think you brushed most of it off with your hand, look at all that garbage. Wait, look at that. Just look at it. Absolutely disgusting. So now here's my special Q-tip trick. Essentially, oops, label towards the camera. 3-in-1 oil or any CLP works really, really well. Brake free is another option if you're into firearms. And then the almighty Q-tip, which everybody has laying around. I will douse one side. And douse the other. If you have a board like this where the edges don't wrap around the front, you're actually will get away with probably only using 1 or 2 Q-tips per side. But if you have a larger board that's got edges the whole way around, you're probably going to end up going through a dozen Q-tips. Also, I highly recommend doing the sidewalls first and rotating the Q-tip a lot, because as you see, there's a lot of crud coming off on here. I do the side first because I want the excess oil to come off on the side wall instead of the base. I don't think it'll hurt it particularly. At the same time, it's probably not good for it, so I highly recommend avoiding as much oil exposure to your base as possible. And then here's the fun part. You're going to want to use a couple dry ones too to remove the excess. But that's also where you remove the majority of the dirt. It is absolutely insane how much crud comes off these things after you lube it up. Really make sure to go out of your way to remove any extra oil on the base or sidewall. Prolonged exposure is probably not good for it. Another reason why I will actually clean my base right after this and then give them a nice fresh coat of wax. Unfortunately, with a board like this, I do find that it will only slow the rust down. It will never fully stop it, and you'll never get it looking perfectly fresh, although you will get it to be rideable again and looking significantly better. Now, in this particular case, when you take the file to it first and then the gummy stone to it to remove all the rust, you definitely want to take the hard file to it again to actually sharpen the edges, because the gummy stone will dull your edging out. The first time that you're filing is essentially to remove all the rust, and the second time you're filing is to sharpen them. And now we have this Burton here, and as you can see, this rear edge has a ridiculous amount of nicks that are actually catching my nail. So I'm going to show you how to properly use the hardstone and clean all that up. So you're gonna have to dip it more often than you think. Because, well, it's not a sponge. It doesn't exactly hold water very well. Water also works great for taking off a bunch of the debris on the stone, but realistically, you're gonna also want to use some paper towels. I can't believe I forgot to mention these earlier in my video. It's just one of those things that you take for granted. Essentially what I'm doing here is just cleaning off some of the extra gunk. Same deal. Wipe this down so I can see my progress. Rinse and repeat. Paper towels also work great for when you're spilling water everywhere, which evidently I'm really good at. Still a little bit here, but the rest of it's smoothed out already. So I'm not sure if you can tell on camera or not, but now that's actually really smooth. And I can proceed to do the edging on this like I did with the other K2, and then clean all the bases and get to waxing as normal. But this board is going to take me a while, so I will spare you guys the pain and suffrage that I'm going to go through and probably be here until midnight cleaning all these up. However, I thought this video would be very helpful for a bunch of you guys, and that's my gift to you for Christmas, is knowledge of knowing how to take care of your own gear, because nobody can ever take that away from you. Pretty sure it's one of the best gifts out there. Also, even when you get a little bit of rust on your favorite hoodie tuning up your gear, now you're ready to board through the pain!